One man saying that is fine. If that's your opinion and you're not in it, that's fine. But there is an entire market of millions and millions of people that agree that it is a store of value. So, you can think one thing, but there's also a market, and markets tend to become efficient over time.
We do know that you will always get paid in Hex on a daily basis. And that is truly the miracle that we call Hex, because it is trustless interest, trustless yield. Nothing will stop that contract from running.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Creed of Crypto. Yes, we booted it up a little bit earlier tonight. We were sitting here saying, you ready? I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's go. And here we are, 6:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Yeah, welcome in. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We've got bull market anxiety, and not just in pulsechain land. You got ETH screaming up. New all-time high, confirmed 100% on Sunday. Wanted to poke that $5,000, but just got G'd back down. So, yeah, we got ETH at about 4,600 right now. Bitcoin has taken a little bit of a beating. It's kind of faded back to what? I think we're at about 110K right now. But the fact that it's August 27th, and it's, definitely understandable that there are people feeling a little bit of that anxiety, like, whoa, what's happening here? I mean, it's almost September. And then you got everybody and their grandmother out here saying that September is going to be a bad month, as they always do. Will it be? We'll talk about that here tonight as well. So it's just like, well, it's already bad. How can it get worse? So as we know in crypto, it always can, but yeah, we will see. So Tam, welcome into you and everybody in the chat. I appreciate you being here as always. Smash the like, everybody that is here. We appreciate all of you guys. We do this every Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, Turk, Montana. Is that a combination of Joe Montana and Fran Turkington? No, just kidding. Anyway, yeah, so we got that. Hex Girl, welcome into you. Good to see you as well. And yeah, we got a big show tonight. Ewok, first off, before we get into everything, how you feeling about the markets? How's life? How's things going?
Life is good. I'm on vacation this week. Didn't really go anywhere, but just took some time off because I had to. So I've been doing on projects around the house. Trying to avoid crypto. I picked a good week to do it because, like you said, it's kind of I think it's a bull flag or a bull bear, whatever it is. It's a false flag. A false flag. There we go. That works. Okay. Yeah. So I picked a good week to kind of stay away from things and just kind of avoid it and work around the house and get some stuff done. So yeah, I've been good.
Sweet. Well, yeah, it is an interesting week. We got some better bank action, an entity that you and I really never, I don't think, even mentioned. Maybe we talked about it just briefly, or we're going to get to it one show and we never really covered it. But an apparent hacking of some sort with them. We're going to get into that and the drama surrounding it here in a little while. We got major pulse chain marketing coming soon. Johnny Chaos seems to have his ear to the pregnant belly of this pulse chain marketing campaign. So it sounds like things are hitting U.S. soil like now or within the next day, it sounds like. So glad that he is in the know about that. But we will get to all that and more. Hit us up with your questions and comments in the chat. We, of course, want to hear from you guys. So first off, let's just take a look at this market. As mentioned, we got Bitcoin right now at hovering about 111K. And yeah, I mean, we're good, 10 plus K back from the all-time high. I don't even remember what it was all-time high now, maybe 122, 124,000. I mean,
yeah, 124.5.
crazy to think of. It didn't spend too much time there. And let's not forget, I mean, that number was many people's bull market top number. I mean, there's plenty of people that's what they thought would be the top. We don't know that it is necessarily yet. We've gotten no alt season to speak of, and Ethereum has been pathetic in comparison, obviously. Ethereum now back to 4,500. We have seen bullish action from ETH over the last couple weeks. It's closed its gap, it's horrible gap. It was so low for so long, for really a year, against Bitcoin. We are now back up above 0.4, although I think we're like right at that ratio right now. As I mentioned, Ethereum did hit a new all-time high right at about 49.50 this past Sunday. It looked like it just touched one last Friday, but Sunday confirmed it if there were any doubts. So, and then again, a lot of volatility when you see it get to new heights like that. And despite Tom Lee and many other people just being uber bullish Ethereum and buying it in droves, we see some of this market manipulation and people with some shorts and stuff, and we're back down to 4,500 at the moment. But the ratio is still looking strong. So I guess first off, Ewok, we can look at the Bitcoin part of it, although that's probably the most boring part. Where we're at in the cycle, as late as we are right now, we're going to get into some Fed talk too. Of course, Jerome Powell spoke at Jackson Hole last Friday, and virtually locked in that we're probably getting these rate cuts in September 18th to be exact. So we'll get to that. But yeah, what do you think about the time frame here, where Bitcoin's at? And then we'll follow up, of course, with Ethereum.
Well, I think what happened is the same thing on different days with Bitcoin and with Ethereum. So when you see this big red candle here on looks to be the 14th, I think what it was after this run up. I think a lot of people had put longs in, and I think they probably leveraged them. And the liquidation bots came in and said, "Nope, not happening," and beat the hell out of them. And now it's just kind of going in a sideways down pattern. I think the same thing happened here on Sunday with this candle coming back down as well. I think there are. So this is why we always say don't use leverage, right? Because they're the trading facilities, they know where your longs are placed. They know what it takes to liquidate. And they put leverage hunters out there to mess with the markets to liquidate your bet, essentially. And I really think that's what happened here on both. As soon as this candle on the 22nd went green as big as it did and it started to run, I think there were some longs placed. Like I said, you're right on. It hit 49.55 on Bitstamp anyway. That's what this chart is from. So yeah, and it liquidated them. It got them back. Now I think we'll probably be in a little sideways pattern here until people regroup, maybe another couple days or so before we attempt to clear this 5,000 target here within again, I think it'll be within the next week or so. It's going to fight its way back up, but what kind of mental gymnastics do we hit at 5,000? Is that a target for people to take profits? Who knows? It's way off of our target anyway. So I would hope not. I don't know. I don't have the I forget which indicator it is, but it tells you where the liquidity is placed on here, and I don't feel like pulling it up right now, but it is a good sign. And like I said, I think we'll go in a sideways chopping pattern here until things get straightened out, and then before we make our next higher move. Same with Bitcoin here. This downward pattern kind of worries me a little bit, but I don't think it's I think it's a fake out. I really do. I think again there's manipulation happening. Some of these bigger people want to accumulate more. They know what's coming. They know their rates are most likely going to get lowered, which usually means it's priced in. So I'm expecting, a little bit of a run before that actually happens. Do we remember the date of the next meeting?
September 18th, I believe it is. Yeah.
okay, so we have a couple weeks, but again, I think people will try to front run into it again, as long as the people don't place a bunch of longs on it. Then I think it'll be okay. But when it happens like that, I forget what it said. I think it was $500 million worth of longs got liquidated, just on Ethereum alone, like just on this candle. So again, I don't know what happened on this one for Bitcoin. I don't remember a total, but either way, that's what happens when they play in the game. Let's take a look at the ratio. You mentioned that earlier. We'll pull it up again. Yep, right at 0.04. And we do have a nice little bull flag forming here on this. So yeah, this chart looks extremely bullish.
Yes, it does.
When you look at it, you see this sideways chop, you see the first move up, you see a little consolidation, you see a next move up, another consolidation, and into a bull flag. So this looks really good for another move. I think Bitcoin could cool off for a little bit, and I think Ethereum will probably start to really take over here. Just prediction. So
yes, I pretty much agree with you 100% on everything you said. And we've been saying here for the last couple weeks that, the chances of the rate cuts coming in September we're looking likely, but it's probably going to be priced in that very day, and the days after it will probably be a sell the news event by that time. Because again, if 95% of people already think it's coming, they're going to be buying now. You know what I mean? So that stands to reason to me, even though we are seeing this pullback right now, that we will see more bullish action. I think, like you just said, 5K ETH in the next week. I think that's nothing is really off the table right now. You know what I mean? Like the volatility is insane. Like it's you can see it in the charts. You see what's happening here. A week is a short time frame, but I would tend to think that that's probable. I definitely think we're getting a new all-time high for ETH by the time of the rate cuts. And I agree with what you said about Bitcoin too. I think that we could see Bitcoin just continue to chill out, and Ethereum and the alts, of course, after Ethereum start to pull back up. But I absolutely think Ethereum is going to continue to be really bullish into the rate cuts. I think maybe we could even see 6K, honestly. I mean, I think we're at the point where things are going to move at a breakneck speed. And we just talked a couple of weeks ago. I think we were saying 6,500 possibly by that September 18th date. So we'll see. I think once we get past 5,000 and it starts to settle, I think it'll start to move pretty quickly. And that kind of leads into like the rate cut talk and everything. And what we're saying about September. Everybody, again, on Twitter is talking about like, oh, September's always bad. Every single cycle in crypto, September's bad. Which, number one, already leads you to the counter trade of, well, everybody's saying that, so maybe it'll be positive. But they can kind of have their cake and eat it too, or pretend they're right in retrospect, because Bitcoin could be bad. Like Bitcoin has plenty of room to have a not so great September, just because it's been running since 2024. Like Bitcoin hasn't cooled off really for a while. Ethereum's still done nothing. I think we could still see Ethereum get to like that 6,000, 6,500 level throughout September, and Bitcoin hangs out here, maybe 115K, maybe gets to 120 again or something. But I think Ethereum is the thing that's really going to show that it's going to be bullish in September.
Well, I do too. And just for reference, looking at this trend line that's been on here forever, since way back when I had draw this on, if you look at how far away the last top got from the trend line when it hit its all-time high. Now, we just crossed back over this trend line. And when you look at the distance away from the trend line that it really pulled away from, and you go up here and you pull away from the trend line that far, you're in the 18 to 22,000 range. So yeah, I completely agree with you. And I think this is going to go pretty quickly. Like you look at this back here, how quickly it ran away from the trend line. And it did chop around a couple times, but yeah, I think this and then this run resembles this and this next run. Really, like I don't know. I'm just seeing a big similarity here for this one and for this dip below it and then take off. Um, I don't know. Just observation.
Looks similar to me. And again, we're getting so late in the year and time frame and everything that this could absolutely happen right now. I mean, you saw how quickly Ethereum moved to the all-time high the other. It was at 4,000, moved up $1,000 in price in less than a week. I was away camping last week. It went down to 4,000 again, and by Sunday we were at 5,000 basically. So, yeah, this is how quick this is going to happen. And Tommy, your comment here is kind of what we're saying. He says, with interest rates possibly going down, do you think the values will come up? I mean, one thing that a lot of legacy finance type people are saying right now is you absolutely want to be holding assets right now. And I think that that's one thing that they're correct about. They'll argue like stocks or gold or whatever, but obviously we want to be in crypto and specifically for Pulse Chain. But yeah, I mean, this is exactly where you want to be right now for at least the next few months, if not more than that. So, yeah.
Well, so when you look at it in that sense, right, money is easier to borrow. The rate of return should outweigh the interest that you have to pay. And a lot of bigger, riskier companies will take that risk on. The lower the interest rate gets, the more money they can borrow to invest in things that are returning higher than what the interest rate is. So to answer your question, absolutely. I think they need to come down even more, which I'm hoping they will, but it doesn't really need to. Once things take off, people feel like they're getting left behind and everybody will pile on. Just the interest rates coming down will definitely help kind of spark that, I think, and get things rolling.
Totally agree. Yeah. And we should line up, like to your point, usually like September 18th is the next meeting. Then usually you're probably going to see, I want to say like November 1st, and then there's one mid-December. So I think we've got 3 FOMCs, including September, by the end of the year. Assuming we see, I don't know. I mean, I think it might be safe to assume that we might get 25 points cut on each of those meetings. I guess we'll have to see what the reaction is. I doubt they'll go as high as like 50. I mean, that would show a lot of aggressiveness. Maybe. I mean, who knows? Maybe they could at the first. I think that's the only thing that maybe could create a non-sell the event scenario if they cut at that level that early, because I don't think people are expecting that. They're just expecting a 25-point cut, which I think is likely. So, yeah, I think I agree. I mean, I think overall thesis for Ethereum there is just I think we're going to see bullish stuff continue right up until that date, deep into September. So, yeah. Crypto Twitter be damned. Anyway, let's turn our attention to Pulse Chain. So we are kind of dipping right now. Obviously, there was a ton of volatility here over the last day with, some of the better bank stuff going on, which is always kind of weird. I mean, literally, I think the huge sell-off from that, which we'll get into, and the recovery was maybe a 2-hour window of time. I mean, it was like so quickly, which is good to see. When you're in bull market conditions, things just pull right back up. But it's nothing for investors of, I think some of the main tokens on the chain to really be concerned about, as long as you weren't messing with that platform.
Yeah.
But Pulse right now at 4 zeros and a 4.2, basically. We have Hex at 0089. We've got Pulse X at 4 zeros, 306. Inc. at $1.55. And eHex is 00167. I was looking at another source, but it's probably similar to what is on the screen right now. So
very, very similar. What
do you make of this pullback we're having at the moment? We saw, I think Pulse got as low as it did get into the 3s yesterday. I saw kind of quickly, but we are still back down into this region. I know it's incredibly frustrating for a lot of people out there that are kind of just on Twitter constantly. And you could really see it, I think, in the sentiment yesterday. I mean, people were very, very, I'm generalizing. I mean, some stuff that I saw, I know you weren't really on it, Ewok, but people just generally exhausted. You know what I mean? And again, I want to make this clear. We're talking about Pulse Chain because that's what we pay attention to. Everybody who is, I get it. If you're just in Pulse Chain, you have like plenty to complain about that you are aware of with Pulse Chain. But there's a lot of stuff going on, or actually I should say there's not a lot going on with a lot of the other altcoins that people carried over from last cycle. I mean, they don't even have anything going on. At least there's excitement and activity on this chain. We just, I just don't. I get it. I get that it's August 27th. I get that it's late August and things haven't happened yet. Ethereum hit an all-time high on Sunday. That's what I just can't. Like, it just did a couple of days ago. But people are, I don't know. I get being impatient, but when the captain that steers the ship is still, half drunk, we're not gonna kill Moby Dick yet. So anyway, there's my sea analogy. But what do you make of where pulse chain's at right now, Ewok?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we made a lower low on the way up here. However, it did stop where there was resistance back here, resistance back here. So hopefully it turned into support, and it looks like that candle got eaten up pretty good and retraced all the way back past the previous low on this pullback. So while it's unfortunate, it does look like it's healthy and it wants to recover nicely. Just seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red candles in a row is never good. You saw it back here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back here, and that's what bottomed out this cup formation, basically cup and handle, and then it took off. So let's see it hopefully, like I said, it really pulled back from that low. You're right, it was all the way down to 403643 and 3633. Sorry. It was the low on this one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But yeah, so hopefully it, like I said, it looks like it's showing some strength. We do have a marketing campaign that's any day now about to get started, and just kind of excited to see what it is and see how this really can take things off. But again, we did have a hack. There was a lot of funds that were sold and dumped, and things happened that pulled this down with it. So that's what happens when you start venturing into all these strange things. New scams pop up every week. Well, stop buying them. I mean, that's the simple fix for it, right? I mean, just anything that pops up, people feel like they've got to get in. That lottery ticket mentality, man, it's just not good. So anyway, I think there's strength. It looks like to me like there is some strength there, and hopefully we can continue this little rally and get it reversed.
I want to go back to what we were saying a minute ago about lots of pulse chain, like whatever you want to call them, influencers, KOLs, whatever the new term is. But like I said, complaining, whining, complaining while pressing sell, hypothetically, about where the pulse chain price is. And it's not just like your average, Joeys or the names that we're used to seeing on Twitter that are always kind of complaining about everything. We've got, pretty established people that have been here multiple cycles that I'm seeing like tag Richard Hart and say, you better do this, you better get things going. You and I were talking about this the other day. Mm-hmm. And I think there's plenty of people that haven't even experienced a full bull market yet that are not even acting that way. You know what I mean? That are understanding. I just don't understand how you can't connect the dots that Ethereum literally just hit an all-time high. I understand Pulse isn't where you want it to be yet. It'd be awesome if it was maybe 2x higher than this or something. But I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know. We've been at worse times than this. I mean,
it's funny. I'm seeing these people that are like, you better do something. This is ridiculous. You need to do something. You probably should sell if you're feeling that way and relying on somebody to do something. I don't know. I've seen it too, and it's really I just keep scrolling when I see that. Staying away from X is not the place to. I don't know. It's just it's toxic. It's so toxic, and people are so toxic. And yes, that's where we get a lot of our information, but it's not a healthy place to hang out and spend all day. It's just not.
Yeah, and I think I would get it to an extent if Ethereum had already been running for months. Like if Ethereum was doing what it did, say, last cycle, and it hit like 8K back in May, and now we're cooling off right now, and Pulse Chain's never done anything at all, or so I could kind of get that, but this I don't get. So
No.
yeah, it's just, and that's not even. And I know a lot of people hear that and they're like, "Why do you act like we're so reliant on Ethereum?" I'm not really reacting like I'm not acting like that, but as far as just Pulse Chain, the altcoin index is reliant on Ethereum. Like that's the way it has always worked. So
Yeah,
yeah.
totally. And we're a fork of Ethereum. Come on, guys. What that's, of course, it relies on it. Most of our value has come over from Ethereum, tied together, bonded with liquidity in a lot of ways. So yeah, it is kind of reliant on it right now. We haven't grown enough to mature to stand on our own yet. We're still an early fork. So again, there's still a lot of tied liquidity to the two. And people are just, it's strange. It's very strange.
Yeah, I am with you. Yeah, appreciate you guys in the chat having each other's backs and everything there. Let's talk about the marketing thing for a moment. We had a great comment here a minute ago that I'm going to try to find. If you find it before me, I start it. You can feel it. There it is. So for Submariner, hi guys, do you think RH's new marketing campaign will improve the reputation of Pulse Chain? We certainly need a major PR improvement. Unfortunately, it seems like new scam pops up every week. So, I mean, first off, like I don't really think that the Better Bank thing should be taken with any like this can happen on any blockchain. And I'm not saying that as like what
Yeah.
about this or what about that on other blockchains. I'm just saying like that has nothing to do with Richard Hart. It has nothing to do with the way the system operates. We never talked about it. I mean, this stuff is built all the time on different crypto layer ones like this, and we never talked about it because I think one, we didn't care that much, but two, I mean, and I'm seeing this in retrospect, they were offering and are, I think, offering ridiculously unreal APYs on tokens and stuff like that that I wouldn't trust. I mean, it just that's rookie league stuff to avoid that. I mean, it's just, and we'll get into it more specifically in like the PDI relation to it because I know they were like offering yield on that. I mean, I would not put any tokens on a platform like that when I don't know who they are. I think the most similar thing that Ewok and I have even done this entire cycle with anything like that is used the PulseX platform developed by Richard Hart's team. And not only that, we downloaded it and ran it on Windows and earned yield on, PulseX yield farms. That's like really all that we have done this entire cycle. We've pulled out of those obviously for months. So I get what you're saying. I don't think any of these. I think that we are in a silo that feels like there's all these negative things that are going on. I think that the big thing is the marketing and who it's going to be going to. They aren't even aware that Pulse Chain even exists right now, or maybe have heard of it or know what Solana and Ethereum are or something. These are not the people that are in the trenches every day. Like, well, that's Richard Hart, and I heard that he's. It's not these people. So. Anyway, I'll shut up for a minute. What do you think about the new marketing campaign and stuff, Ewok? And we'll just go into that topic.
Well, we still don't know what it is, right? So it's kind of hard to guess right now. What I've kind of gathered is that it's going to be some sort of ticker. I think it's going to be a price ticker where at least hex will be displayed. Just a guess. Again, I don't know. This is just a hunch that I have. It's going to make people look at a price and see that price go up. I don't know how it's going to connect, whether you plug it into something and it gets a feed. You know what I mean? It could have like a cable that it plugs right into the. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I hope it is. I hope it's something that displays the hex ticker or Pulse Chain ticker or something to let people look at it and see it going higher in price and being like, this is going up in price. Maybe I should look into this. I think it'd be a great marketing type thing anyway. So Yeah, we don't know. We really don't know what it's going to do. Richard has always been a marketing kind of guru, so we can expect that he knows what he's doing. And there is a lot of capital sitting on the side waiting to move at the right time. So, you know, again, I said it earlier, and this is the one I kind of brought up for a sec. This is the comment that I brought up for a second and said, yes, new scams pop up all the time. It happens on every chain, like you just said. It's it's commonplace for even Solana for rug pulls to happen every day. Now they just do it in a meme token. They're not forking a whole contract, and um, and even audited stuff anymore. You've got to be careful. They can say that it's audited all they want. If the auditing company isn't that great, they're not going to tell you who it was audited by. So if they're not that great, it doesn't really have a leg to stand on. So,
or they could just not fix what the audit brought back.
right?
Like, just because it's audited doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, well, our restaurant was inspected, but we didn't clean up the mouse shit.
Right? Exactly. So you just don't know. There's a lot of things you don't know. Now, this Better Bank thing was an Aave fork. I believe there was a problem with an Oracle. We'll get into that whole, some of these details here shortly, but yeah, stop trying to pick up pennies in front of freight trains. I mean, it's one of Richard's favorite sayings is I've given you guys the tools, buy the right things, and it will work out for you if you have a little bit of patience. People are still, like I said, have that lottery ticket mentality. They're afraid of the delayed gratification and patience. It will work out if you're careful and you stop trying to just hit a home run every time, So,
well, bringing it back to the marketing aspect, so the positive side of this. So Johnny Chaos has been posting about this a lot, which sounds like he knows what's going on. It does sound like the first shipments have already or will be hitting U.S. soil over the next 24 hours or already.
Oh yeah, they're sent. They're
Okay.
sent. They're actually landing in mailboxes either late this week or early next week.
Yeah, he did say that. I'm sorry. I'm just so there's his reports, and then I'm seeing the I forget the account, but the guy that was like a Hex or pulsechain charity that is apparently going to. I think he's in South Carolina, or I don't know. Somebody with a truck is taking something to somebody else with a truck and stuff like that. So I've been following that as well. But yeah, okay. So it sounds like they're delivering this week. So I have to imagine very quickly we're going to see what this is on social media. We're going to see what this is from somebody at some point. They're going to come up somehow. You talked about it potentially being a ticker with price. I think there could be an element of that. I mean, I think that, but I don't think that's going to be it. I definitely like just getting something like that. And it's like, oh, what, the heck's price. I do think the idea of an LCD screen with a video, like explaining how to onboard or something, or maybe just a quick ad type of thing that's very well professionally done. I think that is more likely the main thing. And then maybe if there's like a price ticker or something to come along with it. But I think there has to be some element that it's like, watch this to understand, to convey the message and everything.
Yeah.
So, and I think it is going to make a difference. I mean, number one, though, if you're looking at the layers of the cake that's going to make this whole thing move, Ethereum pumping, number one. Like, to me, like beyond anything else is Ethereum pumping, which, it's also been slave to the business cycle, the macro environment of rate cuts and stuff like that. It's had that as well. So we wait for that. Then I think everything else comes after that. I think the marketing is that icing on the cake that maybe makes the ecosystem go the final 10x that it does or something like that. I think it definitely has an impact, but it can't do it on its own. There's a reason it's happening now and not in 2023, for example. So
right.
Anyway, yeah.
Yep.
Do you have any final thoughts about the marketing stuff?
No, not until we know what it is. I think we'll either be like, oh, that's freaking genius, or really? It's going to be one of those two reactions, but
I'm pretty sure it's going to be positively received. I don't. Yeah. this is not something I think that the parties involved would mess up. I don't think it's going to be something like Richard has said before, something that people aren't going to throw away. They're not going to want to throw away, that you're going to look at. So I think it will work and it'll be effective and it'll be cool. So who is this Moon Mutt? I can't quite read. Yeah, cool.
Moon Mutt with the $1.99. Always enjoy your streams. Appreciate you. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks for hopping aboard, Moon Mutt. Appreciate you being here. Bark at the moon. Yeah, so if you guys are here and enjoying the show, do us a favor and hit the like button. We appreciate you being here. We do this every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got a lot of great comments that I want to get to eventually, but just to right now keep the flow of the show, I guess since we've already covered almost half of it, let's just discuss the Better Bank thing real quick, since this just happened yesterday, just to get this out of the way. So we had never really discussed this thing. If you want to pull up, I guess the Better Bank tweet that they posted themselves, it was, I think, the first thing I would have sent you earlier, their summation of, thank you, of what happened. So just going back a little bit, this thing launched, I don't know, probably about a month ago at this point. We had notes to talk about it, never really did because just weren't really that interested in it or anything. It is an Aave v3 fork lending protocol, and offered, like what I said, it would appear to be pretty high APYs for various types of tokens. And then come yesterday, there's multiple reports that there was a hack on their platform. A bunch of PDI, I believe, was apparently taken out.
Yep. 800 million.
So did you say 700 million?
800 million.
Okay. And then weirdly, I think that entity we find out earlier today sent it back to the original source.
They sent 500 million back. So there's still 300 million unaccounted for.
Right. So I will say overall that I definitely don't think that this is what it seems. And I think this is some sort of inside. I mean, it's Better Bank's fault regardless, obviously, but I think it's something going on with them for sure, regardless of anything we're about to read. That's my disclaimer. So take whatever they say here with a grain of salt. They say, we're seeing some small buys on the favor tokens. And I don't understand all the language that they use here with the favor tokens and stuff, but please do not do that. It's a loss. Exploit situation. The exploit has been found. We did it. It was an audited contract, and the way in which it was exploited was not in the audit report. It was the contract that minted bonus esteem on favor buys. Someone was able to mint a lot of bonus esteem by buying favor on a pair that was not part of the intended pairs. It was a pair with some crap token that they could mint on the spot. They then looped that esteem into the smelter. I don't know any of this shit, which minted to them favor. They then sold that favor pool to the ground. They didn't care about the tax because they had a loop that's close to infinite. Within 10 minutes of the attack happening, we closed all contracts and emergency paused the protocol, which is its current. Oh, okay. So it is actually still paused, I guess. I don't know. Is there any? Here we go. There's a little bit more, I guess. Exploit damage. So there you go. 890 million PDI, actually, which PDI, of course, is being blamed for all of this by everybody. 9 billion PulseX, 7 billion Pulse. At the time of the theft, that was about 5 million. We now log a strong bad debt in our protocol. This is the wallet that stole, and then they continue to go on. I know there's been some other sleuthing and researching of this. I saw Pateus put together a tweet on it, and CryptoSolve and all the people that like to pat themselves on the back and do all the research and everything. Here. Go down there. That's good. Current actions. We are draining all favor pools further down to 0 to save as many of the core assets as we can that were still in them. We're hereby issuing a bounty to anyone, anywhere, if anyone is able to find the true identity of the thief, which, again, he apparently sent back 550 million PDI. Blah, blah, blah. Any money that can be recovered in this thief is justice. I mean, I'm just not buying any of this. We are messaging the thief on chain. Yeah, I think the messaging to the messages to the thief on chain have already been shown that it's them talking to themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm glad we're crossing over on this anyway, Ewok. Future actions, we will close the exploit before relaunching the contract. We'll rewrite as a new Esteem airdrop. We'll rewrite blah, blah, blah. This will not be finished by today, rather as soon as possible. So we'll stay paused for a while. The stronghold positions will remain intact. So as we repay the bad debt to the best of our ability, those assets will be available for withdrawal again. I mean, this is just anyway. What do you make of all this? I think we have similar sentiment here, but yeah, what do you make of this whole situation?
Yeah, it sounds like they had a bug. They potentially, and by the looks of things, exploited their own bug, minted a bunch, and whether it was an inside job, maybe it wasn't the people in charge, but somebody inside found it and did it, and apparently there is a lot of let's go to this one, and
yeah.
So Better Bank exploiter returned 500 million PDI back to them. So there's almost 400 million still out there. And there's a lot of ties to some of these wallets back to them. So they kind of told on themselves. Here, quick reference guide to insider hacks. Hack the protocol using loopholes you designed. Steal nearly 1.5 million from the community in 24 hours. Return the remainder of the funds. Wouldn't go anywhere near the 50-foot pole if they're operating again. And I recommend that people don't touch it. Obviously, a contract that has a loophole or a breach or some sort of backdoor, the whole thing needs to be rewritten and redeployed. Will they do that? Will they patch it? I don't know. Seems kind of sketchy to me. My advice is to just stay away. And again, when you're seeing, so apparently, there's a lot of Aave forks that are out there. And they're all different. They're all different based on different return rates. I think this Better Bank had a revolving rate somehow. The busier it got, the lower the rate, the less it got, the better. So it was kind of to entice people in initially, and then the busier it got, the rate decreased, obviously. So yeah, again, there was, let's check out Pateus and what they said on it too.
Okay, I don't know if I sent you that one. Go ahead.
Yeah, it says, so they were a little bit more PC about it. Obviously, they're another company that's just kind of reporting on what they came across. We did a quick autopsy on the Better Bank exploit. The exploit focused on the favor design, which apparently was the problem. The whole favor, minting of favor, and then there's the other token that they had mentioned. Attacker contract executed approvals, then added and removed liquidity on V2 pairs. The manipulated spot LP price feeding directly into the minter oracle. Then the inflated favor valuations were accepted, which threw off the oracle through the mint redeemer. Then the favor tokens were redeemed for disproportionate Pulse X, Pulse, and PDI from the treasuries. So essentially, that's what happened. They found a loophole. They manipulated it. They minted a bunch of favor, got it to approve spot price, and then sold it through the liquidity pairs. Then the liquidity was withdrawn, and they realized the profit. So Aave fork contracts exist, but the drain assets track back primarily to the mint redeemer and the oracle treasury, which is them. Treasury drain stemmed from manipulable LP oracles unchecked by safeguards, which we know the oracles have been a big issue on pulsechain for a while. Even the guys from Liquid Loans were having issues creating oracles to make their protocol work correctly. They had to do a workaround as well. These are just initial observations made in short time and should never be taken as proof. Again, they're being very PC about this, but it's worth reminding again that an audit doesn't mean something's 100% safe. That's what I said earlier. So, yeah, to break it down, stay away.
Yeah. And J-Dub, I almost did that tonight, but thought it was probably in poor taste. But great minds think alike. Yeah, it's a weird situation, and I shared Sami's tweet with you where he went off hardcore on all of this, and I know you are not really. Yeah, yep, you got it, Hex Girl. But I know you weren't really aligning with most of what he said, but in terms of not touching this protocol, and I'll be honest with you, and I don't. You guys can do what you want. I'm not going to make any claims about. Well, we kind of already did, but even though it looks like it's been proven, but I don't want to make any claims about other platforms or anything. But Sami talked about in that post about he's also not interested in using Liberty Swap at all anymore either. And I will say I did find it a little bit curious, like their post. It was yesterday with all the action happening on chain, asking the community and asking people to like put up liquidity for them and stuff like that. Which I don't know. I thought it was a little odd. I've never used them. I mean, we've talked about them on here. I don't believe you've ever used them either, Ewok. We've been proponents of using like Coast if you're trying to get in quick, or even doing the old classic, just getting on an exchange and bridging over using the regular pulse chain bridge. But I'm say what you want about B Roots, but one thing that he has been saying, I've seen for a few weeks, and not just him, I'm sure other crypto veterans say it. Travon probably, I think, has said it too. But in every bull market, you do see platforms like this pop up. Now, Better Bank's one thing. That's like a lending protocol that I wouldn't even have ever touched. But these onboarding mechanisms that are really quick and have all these avenues and all these things, and those things can get they can get hacked. They kind of come out. Liberty Swap did kind of come out of nowhere. I'm not telling people not to use it, but I don't think that I'm going to be using it. I don't know if you have any opinion on that.
I do. Let's remind people, because I've said this before about Liberty Swap, what it really is. They are acting as an intermediary between chains. So you send them originally what was USDC on one chain, and they keep it enough liquidity on both sides where they just return it right away on the chain that you want to be on. And then they go in the back and run through the bridge, even out their liquidity. It just expedites it. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you're in a hurry, which I'm not usually,
Right.
With speed comes security risk. You're relying on these guys to give you the money. Now, so far, they've been good. When things got busy and the bridge didn't work in the background, or when it got bogged down, their liquidity dried up. And that's what they were asking for, liquidity to help from the community, which worries me a little bit, right? When things get heated up, there are going to be backlogs on the bridge. It's going to take a while. You got to be patient. Don't be in a hurry. If you're in a hurry, you're gonna either A, make mistakes, B, do something that you probably shouldn't do, or C, lose your money. So again, get your money over there, find a safe way to do it. When Richard deployed the bridge, it was one of the very few that I think had never been exploited. With that comes time. It goes through a bunch of checks. It has to have so many confirmations by so many different validators that it's actually happening. It's a lot safer, but yes, it's slower for that reason, because he doesn't want exploits happening. So again, if you're trying to beat somebody to the punch and use speed, understand that you are risking your own security and your own safety. Yes, if I have extra money, I use Coast. The most I've ever had to wait was about a half hour or so. I think maybe there was one time that something happened that it took a little bit longer, but for the most part, it's about the same time as the bridge, honestly. It can take up to a half hour to get stuff across there. Um, I'm just not in a hurry to make it happen immediately. I there's no reason to be, as far as I'm concerned. You're not going to get a better price, or um, if you waited that long when there's a big green candle, then you probably are kicking yourself anyway. So either way, yes. So just reminding you what it is, and that protocol can easily say, we're not going to give you your money. It can happen. So beware what you're dealing with. It is a nice, convenient feature, but there's really no security stopping them from just saying, any transaction that processed, we're not paying you. So just keep that in mind. I mean, that's exactly what it is. So far, they've been on the up and up. And, whenever things heated up, like I said, with the bridge, they did need some more liquidity because they couldn't get it back and forth in enough time to feel secure about what was on both sides. So, that's about it.
Yeah, I think it's a good reminder just in terms of getting into the ecosystem, like you just said, really are two main things that we've used are Coast, and I think I still have been using just regular, on board on a Coinbase and use the bridge, although Coinbase has started their whole holding your money thing a little bit now as the bull market has picked up. But yeah, I'd rather just take my time, honestly. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. And we know Coast is still working on things too. Like they don't have the mint, the CST stablecoin going right now. They are working with their Tide product to get all that stuff worked out and everything. So, there are multiple ways to get into the ecosystem, but yeah, I would never be afraid of using just the standard pulsechain bridge, which can be found at pulsechain.com. I mean, I'm all right with that. So
I did ask, I had sent some funds through Coast this weekend, and I asked the question. I'm like, so when are you turning the mint feature back on? And they said, well, right now with the Genius Act, we're waiting for clarity. We aren't going to risk what we've built. We need clarity from them before the stable coins have to be approved. I think they're going through that process right now, but that's why. So yeah, just wanted to let you know that.
Well, that does make me feel like it's happening anytime soon. If we're waiting on legislation, so who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there will be. But Submariner, I totally agree with you 100% on this. Waiting 20 minutes for the bridge is not an issue. The price you pay for security. That's the two knobs that we turn in crypto all the time. We talk about the same thing with wallet security all the time. It's the quicker you do things, the security is usually going down. The longer you take the more inconvenient, the more the security goes up. And I know we're getting to the point where once you get a hold of money, you want to DCA immediately as fast as you can, especially with how late in the game it is now. But I've been telling myself that I need to hurry up and get in for over 2 years now. So, and I haven't been right yet. So, we may not have much more time, but yes, I agree. Do things the secure way. And as a general rule, I'm not saying anything about any specific protocol, but as a general rule, trusting something that is new is not a great idea. That's just, from our crypto experience anyway. So anywho, that kind of covers the Better Bank stuff and just ways to onboard in a pulse chain. Did you have any final thoughts on any of that, Ewok?
No, I think we beat that dead horse.
I think we did. Yeah. So awesome chat tonight. You guys are blowing up. I kind of want to just ditch all of our topics and go through and look at some comments here, but we will go through a little
RH Max in the house.
Yep. Shout out RH Max. I did in the chat earlier. Good to have you here as always, brother, and supporting the channel. So thank you for being here. We've had a lot of Richard tweets, excuse me, over the last week. He first posted about the pulse chain marketing coming last Friday, right around when ETH poked its all-time high. We had a post about him explaining how pumps work. We had a Hex 1.07 version update, which is now already gone to 1.08, I think. So We can go with whatever one you want to start with. I think it's probably best to talk about the ETH all-time high and the Pulse marketing coming. Maybe we should have pulled that one up a little bit earlier when we were actually talking about that, I guess, but I didn't think of it until now. So
the one that says I've done more for Ethereum than you.
It may be that one because it was when Ethereum hit an all-time high. So I think it might be that one. We'll just go with it regardless. I think it is, though. So he said last Friday, I've done more for Ethereum than you have. Tag someone who also did good for ETH. Congrats, ETH, on new all-time highs. It's been 1,382 days. The ships come in and 200K free. So here you go. 200,000 free electronic devices will very soon be spreading the good word about ETH. Well, I think I missed that part that ETH will be included in that. But pulsechain, pulsex, and Hex. Free and open source software is the future of finance. Peer-to-peer digital immutable truth. Trust in math, not men. The pulsechain train is coming. You can see it pounding right on through there to come. I think I thought he said something else. The above post is mostly to trigger crypto Twitter and to realizing their worldview needs updated. The people that actually matter for Ethereum aren't the people who are being promoted. Hence the request for tags. It's to get knowledge to the brains of the ignorant. I guess they'll know soon enough whether they use X or not. So again, he's sounding very confident, very bullish about these devices that will be going out very shortly. So just a standard, bullish RH tweet. But anything that you take from this other than face value?
I pretty much face value. Like I didn't pick apart anything and come up with P die to $1. So,
well, I'm pretty sure that GIF to find it, you have to type in P die actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So
no, it's pretty straightforward. He's just saying, hey, all new all-time high. Hey guys, we're sending these things out. I thought there was more than 200,000, but
I did too, actually. But
I think maybe that was just the first container.
That could have been. Yeah, it could have been just the first ones that are getting here. Yeah. Let's do this since it's not like we need to delve way deep into this one. Let's just kind of do this trio of tweets here. If you want to go to any of the other ones that he recently did, maybe not the Hex update one, but the explaining pumps one. I think there you go. If that's it, I think that would make sense. I explain pumps to you. You have X influence. Your influence can cause Y amount of buys. The more liquid that you are promoting, the less the price will move up with Y money when Y money is deployed. If legacy buy Ethereum instead of Bitcoin, the price moves up more, it's less liquid. And if they buy Pulse Chain, it's super duper goes up more because it's less for sale. But wait, there's more. If all your influence is only worth Y dollars, would you rather promote something you own a larger percentage of or a smaller percentage of? What do you own a larger percentage of total supply, BTC, ETH, or Pulse? This is why you often see people choose to promote most that which they own the largest percentage of, so they don't have dead weight pulling down their gains from promoting. This is not financial advice. I'm just educating you about markets. P.S. Because of ETH is less liquid and vastly superior to Bitcoin in nearly every way, when BTC is sold for ETH, the ETH price goes up more than the BTC price goes down. This applies for ETH and Pulse Chain as well. PPS, happy new all-time highs ETH. So, interesting. Talking about the cascading effects, like people selling BTC into ETH and then ETH into Pulse Chain. So, yeah, what do you make of this post by RH?
Yeah, and I think there's something a little deeper here. He's talking about possibly what he likes as well.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to put your money, because he says right here, what do you own a larger percent of? That's probably what you're going to promote. So yeah. I mean, he's basically saying Bitcoin is so heavy, ETH is less heavy, and Pulse is extremely light,
Right.
as far as liquidity goes, as far as making more gains out of something. Pulse would be, out of these three, the winner on X's. I think that's kind of what he's saying without saying it.
Yeah.
So with very little economic energy, if you put $10 million into Pulse, you're going to see major candle. $10 million wouldn't do a whole lot to ETH or BTC right now, on the grand scheme of things. So,
right.
It's just what he's trying to get through to people.
Good stuff. And to follow up on that, let's just talk about, since we're talking about pumping it up, research group on healthy living. That's quite the name. Do you think that PulseX Hex can go up at least a 10x as we are approaching the end of the bull run in the next 2 months, unless we are in a super cycle? There's a lot of kind of a loaded question there, because you're assuming that we've got 2 months, 2 more months to shake out the weekend. So, I mean, that would put us at the end of October, and I know that's kind of a popular claim by some. I definitely don't think that's written in pen. I think that's probably the earliest that this thing could come to an end. I think the latest would probably be February to March of 2026. But if your definition of that is a super cycle, I don't think that would be really considered a super cycle to anybody. I think that would still be basically the 4-year cycle playing out, and just seeing it move a little bit longer into the following year, like it did in 2018, which Ethereum did top, as we've talked about many times on here, in January of 2018. If that would happen this time around in 2026, you could see a pulse chain top in January, maybe even February of 2026. Who knows? Along with other altcoins, not even just pulse chain. So, so that kind of addresses the time thing. As far as can they go up at 10x in 2 months? Yeah, I mean, I think they can. It sounds like what you're asking is, can we do a 10x for the rest of this bull cycle? I would hope so. I mean, I'm hoping that we do more than that. But I will say this, and I know we're all hoping for definitely more than that. But if just a 10x from here would make you extremely unhappy and not change your life very much, maybe you want to get a little more long in the tokens that you're interested in. Again, I understand that would be much less than what most people are hoping for, but if you really believe in it and you don't believe in much else in crypto, I personally would want to get more tokens. So what do you make of that, Ewok?
Yeah, I think 10x is, I would be disappointed in a 10x. I really would. I think it would be a very disappointing run if that's all we did. I think Ethereum can do a 10x, 7x at least. There's no reason PulseX Hex can't get 100x. I think it's possible. People underestimate what is possible. Richard designs a lot of things to do a 10,000x. He said it. He hasn't said it as much this time because people rode him so hard about the last time. But he designs a lot of his things to do a 10,000x. He did what? So what did Ethereum do on its initial cycle? 14,000x or something like that. Mm-hmm. Maybe after the first cycle and a half. A 14,000x. Well, why can't pulse chain? I mean, yes, there are more. There are more tokens out there, but I don't know. I would be disappointed with a 10x. I really would.
I don't think we're doing a 10,000x or a 14,000x or anything like that. I think the reason that won't happen. I mean, Ethereum was a unicorn out of nowhere. Nothing like that existed at that time. Yeah, I think that's completely out of the question. But if we could 50 to 100x from here, if you're unhappy with that, then I don't know what to tell you.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah. So would I. I'd be very okay with that. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. That's why you don't want to put like specific numbers on it. You want to more focus on. And it's not a cop-out. You want to more focus on the behaviors of, okay, what do I trust in crypto? I personally, and I know Ewok obviously agrees, we trust this ecosystem. We trust Richard Hart. We trust Ethereum, all these things. And all of our bets are placed here regardless. So, I mean, I don't think, I could not go out and identify what token will do better for the rest of the bull cycle or the previous parts of the bull cycle than these tokens here. I know a lot of people like to play Monday morning quarterback and pretend they knew everything, and they knew Solana was going to go up, and they knew that SPX 5900 or whatever Morad's meme tokens, like they knew everything. That just isn't a world we actually live in. You can't really predict all that stuff completely. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, this is where I want to be, and I'm just getting as long as I possibly can. So, good question, though. But yeah, I wouldn't consider, we've talked about this a lot, Ewok. I wouldn't consider it going into January or February a super cycle, though. I mean, that would just be,
No.
it lasted a little longer.
No, I give it till, I think I would give it till March before I would say, wow, this isn't, if it's not playing out till then I would say, yeah, something's really off here. But February, March, I don't think would be a super cycle at all.
Right. And I think it would be the most bullish scenario, too. I mean, the longer it goes, no matter what, it's definitely the most bullish scenario.
Sure.
I mean, that'd be fantastic. And it would ease. I mean, just imagine, like, I don't want to, just sit here with hopium and stuff like that. But with the anxiety, like we're talking about on this stream tonight, like, oh man, it's late August. When's the bull run going to be over? If we somehow had knowledge now that this is going to last for another 5 or 6 months, it would, I think, help a lot of people relax a lot. But we don't have the foresight of knowing that information. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question. I was just seeing if there's any other comments that kind of relate to that.
There's lots of comments in here. These
I know.
Chat guys, man, you guys are super active. Thank you for participating.
Yeah. Viper Sauce, Ewok, how much did you sell the old house for now that you got the new pulse chain background there?
I didn't sell the house.
And did you DCA into crypto with that money? I hope so.
No.
Okay.
I've been DCAing this whole time, but I didn't sell the house.
Okay. Let's look at the last thing that RH said, the update to hex.com, which was definitely needed. I think a lot of people would agree with that. Those who still go on there to stake and unstake, which I think is just Ewok and Crispy Man. No, I'm just kidding. I do it as well. I'm totally kidding. I want Hex to do well. I like Hex staking. I have 5555 stakes. I don't think it should be all of your portfolio. But yeah, it's good. And I hope that RH is able to help people realize how Hex works here and get more people in it. So he posted last week, go.hex.com has become lightning fast, I think he meant, updated to 1.07 version. It's rumored the next update will support non-MetaMask wallets. So finally an update. And I know there was issues for a long time, Ewok. I had been using icosa.pro to do stakes, unstaking or staking, because it works really well, and you can mint your Hedron or icosa or whatever from there. I guess just Hedron. But I love using that platform. It's always worked well for me. And I know there were issues with a lot of hiccups on hex.com where the stakes wouldn't pull up on either the Pulse or the Ethereum side. You had trouble staking or unstaking. And now within a week, we already have version 1.08. So first off, talk a little bit about what fixes this has created, and then we can analyze what he means about non-MetaMask wallets and what that could entail.
Yeah, so this was, when did he post this? August 21st, so 6 days ago. Oops, sorry, I'm sharing the wrong one. And it is so much faster, by the way. Yeah, the big problems that I was having was whether it was, now when we were using Rabby, it actually worked. I could connect with go.hex.com, no problem. What fixed it for me, though, when I went to even Internet Money Wallet, was downloading it to my own computer. I couldn't get the website version, the what you call it, the IPFS launch thing. Right. I couldn't get that to work. For some reason, I couldn't get it to connect with Ethereum or Pulse Chain side with the other wallet. When I downloaded this to Windows and ran it that way, it connected just fine. So there was something weird going on. This new fix, though, has fixed everything, and he is correct. When it loads your stakes and loads the price per T-share, and it goes through the whole thing and loads it, it is extremely much faster than what it was before. So kudos to those guys. Now, non-MetaMask wallets, interesting, because Richard has talked about having a wallet launch soon, and
He talked
who
about it like
knows?
4 years ago, right?
Well, but it was always on. He said it was done. He was at I think it was maybe in Denmark when he was at one of his talks, the personal meetups that they had over there.
Yeah.
And told people it was done. He was finished with it. Now, did they add more? Did they do something else to it? Probably, most likely. But it could be a hint about non-MetaMask. Now, Internet Money Wallet works great. I've used it exclusively since Rabby kind of disowned us and didn't like the hexagons anymore. So yeah, Internet Money Wallet has worked for me, and again, that's what I usually onboard people with. It's much easier than teaching them how to enter the custom RPC number, the custom RPC settings and all of that stuff. So again, it's just much easier for newer people that can switch back and forth between pulsechain, Ethereum, and do what they need to do. So yeah, it could be a little Easter egg, but maybe not. Who knows? He could be just saying it's supporting other things. Because before you had to have a wallet that would mask itself as MetaMask or act as a MetaMask wallet, which Internet Money did finally add that update, which they updated all of the different connection protocols or methods or whatever you want to call it. So they have, I think, added all 4 to their wallet now. So yeah, pretty cool and very fast. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, that is awesome. And then again, we've already seen the update to V108. Have you used it since then? I saw Viper Styles in the chat was saying
Yeah.
that he maybe encountered an issue with it and the 107 had been fine for him, but I'm not sure.
Oh, I've used 108. It was literally a day or two later. 107 came out Friday. I think. What day was that? What I say? The 21st.
21st, yeah.
Which was
That's
what?
Thursday.
So by Saturday, 108 had come out already, and I used 108. So
Gotcha.
worked fine for me.
Okay. And I will say this, I will go on record to say this. Now, whether it is a wallet or not, I think that probably is the most likely scenario. But I do think, and this is kind of a topic change, I guess, but I do think that RH has a plan for top of the bull market vibes and launching something new that can help take it into the next cycle. Now, I mean, from last cycle to this was a new blockchain, a new DEX, all these things, building railways basically to use Hex and copy the system state of Ethereum. But I think whether it is a wallet or something else, I do think there will be a product at the top that likely, again, some sort of sacrifice phase will be open for. Maybe not well, I think it will happen. And I hear that noise from you, and I'm telling you right now, people will absolutely sacrifice for it.
Oh, sure. I probably will too. I probably will too.
Oh, hey, take my money. Yeah, exactly. And and I probably will too. And it'll be the same as I did for PulseX. I mean, it would be like not a significant amount of money. Right. Just I want to have a little bit of a stake in this in case it somehow launches or whatever, and something goes up only. I don't know. I mean, that's highly doubtful, but yeah. But the thing is, that's what people forget. Like right now, people, probably don't want to like. NJ Dub probably don't want to sacrifice. Many people will right now say they wouldn't do it, but whenever things are how they get at the top.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
People are going to do it. Yeah.
So I just to go back to this real quick, Viper Styles, try downloading it to Windows or Mac or whatever you're using and try it that way and see if it helps. Because I was having connection issues too before, even on like 106. And 105 even. I think there were 2 of them that I was having troubles with that I had to find a workaround for. So once I downloaded it worked fine. So give that a shot and see if it helps you by any chance.
RH Max on that topic says, I'm betting on no more sacrifices from RH. Pulse and Pulse X were for a reason. Yeah, I do agree with that. Like, I mean, he, wanted legal clarity and stuff like that with it. New products from RH, I think so. I think he will want something, though, to have people's buy-in throughout the bear market again, and there's I think a few mechanisms that he could use to do that, one of which, if I bring up, everybody, Ewok will start hating me and we can't talk about it and the chat will be split and all that stuff. But I think that he will have something. There was one I did want to echo everything that you said about internet.
Say it. I'm very curious where you're going to go with this. So
no, I'm not saying that. No, I've already transitioned off that. I'm not getting into PDI. But Internet Money Wallet, I want to echo everything you said. It's on the very short list of one of the biggest, best upgrades I've ever made in crypto to switch to their wallet. I mean, I DCA'd earlier. I used them on Pateus. Literally, the transactions like that. I mean, it's like instant swap. Like before, once I click like, yes, verify transaction, authorize it on the Trezor and stuff, you go over to Pateus, the swap's already been made. When I was using MetaMask, it would like fail. I'd have this issue, that issue. Yep. I mean, I'm not just saying it. Brother KG and I are not close personal friends. He doesn't know, I don't owe him money or anything like that. It is, it's been fantastic. Best change I ever made wallet wise. So,
yep. Agree. Kudos to those guys. And they deserve everything that goes with it. They've done a great job.
Yeah. Digital money markets, I said the exact same thing.
Trippy, man.
Ewok was we were listening to Dark Side of the Moon before we came on the air tonight. So yeah.
No acid, just a little bit of mushrooms.
There you go. Yeah. Just micro dosing.
Staying natural,
Yeah. All right. I don't know how much more we really have to get into. Boy, is there anything else you want to touch on? Do you want to go through a couple comments? I don't know if there's anything that maybe caught your eye. There was no other real huge pressing topic I wanted to get to, I don't think. Just trying to see if there's anything that anybody said here. Viper Styles did say, what about PDI? I mean,
I told you, go ahead.
All right, let's do it. I mean,
I want to know what your thoughts are for top of the bull run, what Richard would do. He's already sold all of his, but tell me what you think.
Well, I don't know. First, I would never utter the words or say that Richard Hart would do anything or have anything to do with PDI, and I don't believe he does. So that's not even what I'm saying. I think that PDI, should that get to the ultimate destination that people want it to get to, I think it would be a very interesting tool to keep people around in the bear market, earning yield on stable coins, which I mean, you can already do on pulsechain now, but I think there's other mechanisms that can be built out to have that keep people around, that you could take profits right into it. And my overall stance on PDI in general is whether I'm into it or not. I mean, I'm 100% interested in investing in it. I think I tend to agree with everything Sami said just the other day. I mean, I think that the stuff like what happened with Better Bank and everything like that are just more purposeful stress tests and things like that. I don't think that any of that happened organically. I don't think it was just like an organic hack. I think it was probably set up. And I'm definitely invested in it, not anything crazy, but I want to see where the journey ultimately goes, and I'm going to continue to be invested in it. And then, if it doesn't work out and it all goes to zero, then it all goes to zero, but I'm not over leveraged in it or anything like that. But it's been a wild ride, and it's funny to me that like the people that were completely behind it for so long have totally abandoned it and speak out about it now and make copies of the bear token and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm in it for the journey. I'm not really interested in having a debate with anybody about it, because we're just not going to agree. And I don't think it's really that worthwhile. I think the people that are going to agree will agree whenever it's at a cent, 5 cents, stuff like that. So anyway,
cool.
That's really all I have on it.
I don't not think it can't go up. Like I have faith that it will go up. There'll be enough people that buy into this some of these crazy fan fictional stories, but there's no mechanism there to peg it. People won't collateralize their own bags. Why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. Again, I think it'll do okay for returns. I think once it gets to a certain point, though, people need to use caution and probably take a little profit just in case.
Oh yeah.
I mean, unless you're in it for the do or die, and I'm holding it till it goes to $1 or $0. There are going to be people like that too, but again, now these guys have 300 million of them. There are so many large holders out there that just it really worries me about how many people need now exit liquidity and will be dumping along the way. And anyway, like I said, I don't not think it can't go up. So I think there will be profits to be made. I just worry those P-die to $1 people may get left behind.
Well, I love what Scott says here, and this is exactly what I've said the entire time. Luckily for the anti-PDI guys, they can be wrong and still be wildly rewarded. It's a win-win. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you have to hold the token, and if the story that's been talked about for since the beginning of time with this thing were actually to come to pass, the ecosystem could go to different type of heights. So I agree with you. I don't think it is necessary to even hold it or anything like that. And I think people would be thankful if it, did provide another mechanism to make the ecosystem go higher and do the whole Hyperloop thing and all that stuff. But don't have to necessarily hold it. And as we sit here now, it's over 200x to $1. And I agree with what you said, Ewok. I mean, nobody knows. That's the whole point. I mean, that's why there's doubt in it. Nobody knows the whole situation.
Sure.
That's why when people say like, well, if I knew blah, 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 well, it would be 10 cents already if you knew.
Yeah.
So, and I agree with you about taking profits on the way up. I think that's just kind of a safe thing for anybody to do. So it's wild. I mean, I don't know. I mean, say what you want about it. Think it's a meme coin. Think there's, it's totally going to come to fruition and the exact way it's going to happen. I don't know. But it's been a wild, interesting thing to watch, anyway, on this blockchain. So, and interesting that we haven't heard anything from RH on the Better Bank stuff or anything over the last 24 hours. I don't know if he'll say anything eventually, but he'll usually do like a vague kind of blanket word of caution.
It really depends on his. He always talks about the risk diode type thing, and sometimes he would rather not bring it up to draw attention to it. Just rather not say anything at all. So just in case people don't know about it already, he's not going to give them a platform. So yeah. I have a feeling that's where we're at.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you there. So good stuff. This has been an awesome chat. Ewok, will Hex reach all-time highs this cycle? I think.
Hell yes, it will reach all-time high. Well, actually, what's that?
I was just Well, I was just gonna say, what does that mean? Which Hex and 56 cents, or what are we talking about here?
Yeah, no, I don't know if eHex will get back. I think it can. The liquidity is extremely low. There is a very limited batch out there. We know Bank X is almost out. We were talking about that earlier, you and I. They're less than what, 50 million, 60 million left out of the 800 million that they had. They've dumped. So yeah, I think honestly, I think both hexes can eclipse $1. I think P hex can go even higher. So yeah, I believe so.
DJ Moonboy, depending on the source, 53 cents, 56 cents for eHex in 2021. For Hex on pulsechain, what, 3 cents, 3.5 cents? I don't remember so far.
3.5, 4 cents. Yeah. So to be a 10,000x, which it did, it had to hit 56 cents, which it did on some of the exchanges, because one of the lowest or the bottom price was 405655. So that made it the 56 cents, made it 10,000x.
Yep. Well, we got a long way to go. We are nowhere near those prices right now. But as you know, we've kind of just seen a little bit in the last week. We're seeing some massive volatility with a lot of things. Ethereum's kind of getting the show started. Got an Ethereum all-time high, got smacked back down. I think that's okay. Like we said at the top of the show, I think we're going to have massive bullish action on Ethereum over the next month, honestly. I don't care what crypto Twitter says, and September's always down and blah, blah, blah. Maybe it will be for Bitcoin, or maybe Bitcoin just goes sideways, but I think we're gonna get some action here. So did you just put that up, or did I do that?
I did. Okay. With a tsunami of money coming, 10,000x on PHEX is around $30. Whew. You know, it's good to dream. Check my pulse. I love it. I still think there's a lot of people out there that have very, very big bags. Maybe we get to $30 next cycle. I think we get to a few dollars though on PX this time. 30s, who knows, man? These things can do crazy things. We'll have to see, but I definitely think multiple dollars is doable on PX.
So now you're calling for like a 250x for the ecosystem. 50 cents would be about a 50x from here, but what you said would be
I said hex. I didn't say.
Well, I mean, if you think they're all going to kind of go, you know, around the same amount in that time, I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe Pulse goes up, you know, less than Hex or PulseX or something.
Hex can move a lot faster because there's so much less available. And the amount, you know, RH Max and I were talking the other night after I did my little thing on the show. 93% of Hex is locked up. There isn't much out there for sale. There just isn't.
Right.
I mean, a few $1 million. Now, when the price starts going crazy, you'll see some come available. But yeah, it's just, there's not much. And there could be a supply crunch that sends it a lot faster than what Pulse or PulseX. There's still a lot of PulseX out there for sale. People have it liquid. Right now, Hex, there's a lot of it locked up. So again, it's all about the supply. And if the demand outweighs that, it could do some crazy numbers very, very quickly.
Yeah. And that's kind of why, you know, I DCA into everything relatively equally. I mean, like, you just, you know, trying not to get cute with like, oh, I'm going to buy all this because of this narrative or whatever. I never think that's a good idea. Like,
yeah,
I just kind of, you know, divide when I DCA 33%, you know, a third into Pulse, third into PulseX, third into Hex. And then right now I've been doing 50-50 Hex and eHex whenever I buy. So, yeah. So. Anywho, I've got to piss like a racehorse. So let's go ahead and wrap this up for this week. Chat, you guys have been awesome. Even though we're having a pullback this week, everybody's feeling bearish and stuff like that. I think that's incredibly bullish, honestly. I mean, the news that we have coming macro-wise, Ethereum just hit a new all-time high. It is hard sometimes to zoom out and remind yourself. Like, we were all kind of celebrating Sunday on the Ethereum all-time high. Yeah. And then here we are 3 days later, and it's like, what the hell is this shit? But you know, just trying to have patience, preparing for this bull market volatility. It's gonna feel, there's gonna be pain, even, you know, in the pumps. I think we're gonna see some big drawdowns, and when that dopamine gets cut off, it is a killer. I mean, because it feels so good, and then it gets cut off. So yeah, appreciate all of you guys. Hit the like on your way out. We do this every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for Crypto Ewok, this has been Broke Boy Crypto. I was just regular BB Crypto tonight. So we'll see you guys next week right here on the Creed of Crypto. See you guys.
See ya.